Hi, it's Nikki and welcome back. On a Wednesday, I talk about speaking and content and presenting yourself, which sounds very odd, but essentially, if you are a personal brand or you're a service-based provider or you're the person behind the scenes selling the product, we need to see and feel you and understand you. And I think sometimes that can be, or it can feel rather, quite overwhelming, especially if you've had a bit of a lull this summer where you've taken a step back and it's maybe not felt as comfortable to go, oh my goodness, hi everybody, right, I'm now back in the room. So today I want to give you some content ideas, some things to think about, maybe some pointers that might inspire you so you can get going. I see this so often, and I wanted to start with this. There are people out there who are selling all kinds of SHIT that is not based on integrity. It's really okay, I'm not going to go there too much, but it's not what you're doing. It's not what you're doing. And the difference is that those people are visible. Those people are like, hi, come and buy it. It's available. Here's my payment link. Let's go. Let's do all the things. So I want you to get to that place because I know who you are and what you've created and what you're all about comes from that place of truth. And now we just need to tell more people about it in a way that feels really good and not restrictive and not like something that you want to avoid. So I've started this video with this sense of uniquely you. And now is the time to really step in to your unique blend, your pick and mix of what you're all about, and really lean into that individuality. I think so often there can be a temptation to fall in line, essentially, get to that stage where, well, I'm a coach and this is what coaching people seem to be talking about, so maybe I'll do that. Or sometimes the way that people teach things, they say these are the absolute fundamentals that you have to do. And actually, I think there's not only room for it, but there's so much possibility in terms of you adding your own spin and making it your own. And when we look at people who have had success, that's often what they've done. Yes, they have done some of the things that are instantly recognizable about that industry, but they've also walked outside the lines as well. So the first thing I want you to think about is very much about the open and closed sign. So when you're open, if you were a physical shop, for example, that is your time where people are going to come in and you can say, hi, come and buy my stuff. This is what I'm all about. But if it is you, essentially, you won't have that cutoff restriction of being open and closed. There will be ways that people can get in contact with you. They can maybe purchase something from your website. They can send you an email, and they can do that when you are completely offline or doing something else. And I found that throughout the summer, I really took a step back in the summer, really spent that time with my children. I did do some work as well and fulfilled commitments I already had. But I wasn't in that creation. I wasn't in that, right, let's go, let's do this thing. If anything, I just eased off a little bit. But I still made sales. People still inquired to work with me. I still had that run of people coming and having a look and seeing what I was all about. And so when we're talking about growing our personal brand and putting ourselves out there, it's not just a case of feeling that we can only welcome customers when we're on. If anything, it's really exciting and interesting to explore the ways where we can welcome customers when we are off. So I want you to firstly take a piece of paper and ask yourself, how and why did you design your process or your product in the way that you did it? So you might want to say, okay, I've now got one-on-one options. They're available. Come and work with me via my website. Great. But what does that mean? I think more and more so when people are overwhelmed, when they've got all sorts of stuff going on, we have to really show the value of what it is that we're doing. And so taking people behind the scenes of why you do what you do, why you've designed the process in this way is crucial. One of the things that I speak about all the time is the fact that I have pre-work and then I have a strategy session and then follow it up with an accountability period. It works brilliantly for me because I understand that process. I know how powerful that can be as I guide people through, because I know my clients so well. I know the moments when they fall down. I know the moments where they really struggle, or they're getting stuck. They're wanting to go back to their old familiar ways. I know all of these things. So I design my products in a way that can support them. I am preempting this process. It's the same for your product, your service. I want you to become really familiar about what that looks and feels like. Secondly, I want you to show that you have full understanding of your client, the compassion, the kindness. I really think that people are needing this at this moment. It takes a lot for many grown women that I know to put their hand up and say, I'm really struggling here. I've always been independent, or I've always done this myself. Why can't I get it? Why is this not happening for me? It takes a lot of courage to walk outside and advocate for yourself. Or invest in yourself and say, I need this. I can't do the things that I'm doing already, and it's now time to take things up a notch. So to be greeted for the client, the customer, with that compassion, that kindness, that support, that level of integrity is something that is on your side. I don't know if you've ever spoken to a medical professional, for example, and you might have experiences of those people who completely dismissed you. You could tell they were clock watching the whole time. They were just trying to get on with things and yeah, it's probably this. I'll just write a prescription for this and get you out of here. Or those people that really listened, really held you, not necessarily physically, but held that space for you, and how it changed your interaction. I remember when I was having my daughter, I was so fortunate to have the same midwife once again who did all of my checks that she'd done with Oscar. And when I rocked up, like I'm pregnant again, she was so brilliant in really listening to my choices and my preferences and my concerns and my worries and my questions, all of it. So in terms of your content, in terms of you putting yourself out there, I want you to bring that flavor, maybe that softness, maybe that unwavering belief in your clients. I want you to bring that side of yourself, because when we are, and I know this as a client, when I'm seeking support, I am not just looking at price. Of course, we all have our own budgets, but I am looking for that person who is going to be a human being in this. That's what it's about for me. And what can happen is that sometimes when people are sharing things on Instagram, you become like a number, you become a post-it note on somebody's wall. And I never want to do business in that way, nor do I want to be a client who's like, yeah, great, I got her money, stick a post-it note on the wall and forget about her. This is an investment. This is a choice. So if you can take care of people, if you have that natural instinct for what it is that you do, please show it. Number 3, your personality and the way that you do things, what you bring to the table, is really crucial. I love that I can bring possibility, I can bring enthusiasm, I can bring energy, I can bring humor, I can bring storytelling. I remember a client once calling me the queen of analogies. And I think that's true. I have an ability to be able, not necessarily a queen, but I have that ability to be able to flip a story around, to reframe something, to make it make sense, to really lock in with a client and say, yes, I can see why that's not working. How about we try this? And reframe something so they're like, oh, now I get it. That's what it is. Oh, that's unlocked something for me. I want you to think about you as an individual and a service provider and what your flavor is. I often think about yoga teachers in this scenario, and the local yoga studio that I go to different teachers for different things. Sometimes I love, there's one teacher who has she does like a mini sound bath at the end, or sometimes she'll come and put some lavender on your face and it's gorgeous and lovely and relaxing. Sometimes I go to this one particular teacher who I say it's like she does kind of flossing for all the little muscles in your body. She somehow creates these sequences that at the end of it, you're like, whoa, I didn't even know I had that muscle. Oh, that felt a bit, oh, that's released something for me. So really being clear about what your personality is, what your flavor is. It's not only going to be great for you because you can step into who you are, it's going to be great for your clients as well because they're going to know what direction to go in. Number 4, the additional skills that you bring. So recently we had to have a lot of building work done on our home, and it wasn't exciting work. And it had 2 or 3 different phases. We needed scaffolding because it's an Edwardian house. It's really, really tall. And it's also a bit of an awkward situation. So we had to have the scaffolding in a particular way. So we had to time that. And then we had to time the fact that we needed to get a roofer to do the 2 different jobs that we had requested. Our roofer was brilliant because he said, I have got teams to do 2 of these things, and also my kind of sister company or my brother company is able to put the scaffolding up. So what we can do is we can time it so you've not just got scaffolding up outside your house for weeks and weeks and weeks. I can put it together so we can sequence it and you can maximize the time. I'll do a payment plan for you. It will be great. It was great. It was brilliant because there was a sense of cohesion through that. I often think about my portfolio career as well when I come to clients. I'm not just looking at things in a linear way. I'm not just trying to squeeze people in a step-by-step guide. I get inspiration from everywhere. The fact that if I'm helping somebody with their speaking or their content, for example, and I've actually done a speaking gig or filming that week or whatever it might be, I am on the ground as well. And being able to really practice what I preach is a great offering. I want you to think about what are those behind the scenes things that you are able to do. Finally, I don't know why I'm calling them these, but here we are. The sexy logistics. I think that at this time, people are perhaps hesitant, more so than they were, say, 6 or 7 years ago about spending money. When that coaching peak was when suddenly I was hearing yeah, I spent 20 grand on this. Yes, I've joined a mastermind for 50 grand. People are still doing those things, but they are maybe more cautious or hesitant about the purchases they make. And so at every step of the purchasing experience and then the delivery, making sure you have those sexy logistics in place is great. I know that we can get a bit casual sometimes. The boundaries between clients and customers, I'm going to use Vinted as an example. I always, if I'm selling stuff on Vinted, I really try and keep my communication very clean and transparent and communicate well. Well, sometimes I might say, all posted, it's on its way to you. Thumbs up. That's what I might do. People are like, oh, thanks, hun. How's your day going? I hope you're having a good one. I'm like, whoa, we're now in a conversation. This person feels like they're coming for Christmas. But it's all part of that process. Nobody wants to be making a purchase and then be like, I don't really know what the next steps are. I've recently, this morning, booked a headshot photo shoot. And there is such clear guidelines as to what happened next. This is what you need. This is what you need to prepare. This is the address. This is how you need to show up. This is the amount of money you've paid so far. These are my bank details for the day. Really working on cleaning all of that up will really serve you well. Also, it's a fantastic thing to be able to share in terms of your marketing. If you show people, like I do in the 100 Club, I'm going to be with you every step of the way for the next 100 days. There's something, not necessarily like it's personal to me, but there's something quite appealing about somebody being in your corner and showing up for your dream for the next 100 days and you doing the same too. I hope that has been useful. Please subscribe, please follow along. You can catch up on all of the kind of written work in my journal as well, and on YouTube, of course. And I hope today has been useful. If you want to find out more about your digital disco or speak up, I would love to help and support you. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.